Full Court Peace has been working in Cuba for 11 years. We've done 41 trips, brought about 650 travelers. We've refurbished about 16 basketball courts, brought 2,500 pairs of sneakers and 1,000 basketballs, and made a measurable impact on local communities. Anytime we see someone reaching out for help in the basketball community in Cuba, we obviously want to be there for them. That's why we exist. We want basketball to be a way for everyday Cubans and everyday Americans to get to know one another. It was January or so, and I saw a Facebook post by a Cuban friend of mine that showed half of a basketball court that was in total disarray, that needed a lot of work. So I reached out to my friend and I said, hey, we don't have a lot of extra time when we're down there, but it looks like you need some pretty basic things, maybe some paint on the court, and maybe we can find a way to get you a backboard. Let me come and check it out. Sure enough, we got down there and our Cubans had already put some backboards together by hand, and we had a great group of kids, American kids, who were ready to work really hard. And we started by grabbing the backboard from storage and then bringing it over to the Buena Vista community. We pulled up to the Buena Vista community and it was just like the photos showed. The need was pretty obvious. The backboard had totally rotted. It hadn't been tended to in years, and of course there was no rim. And that's sort of when the magic happens. We show up and there's just sort of this clearly identified need. There's garbage everywhere, there's dirt on the court, and the Cubans and Americans, a lot of them don't speak the same language, but they know that there's work to be done, and it just sort of starts happening, and that's the beauty of what we do. I think the coolest part is that everyone's just got their head down, they're sweating, they're using their hands and their physical strength to make a place look better, and somehow they're bonding over the course of that. It was a big moment when the backboard came down, because I think if you're a Buena Vista resident and you look up at that backboard every day, especially if you're a basketball player, you start to wonder after time, when are we ever going to get a new backboard? We'd have to get wood together, we'd have to put it together, we'd have to get a carpenter, and that's where minimal resources that Full Court Peace is able to collect come into play and have a big impact on a community. Eventually the paint started getting mixed together and prepared to be put down on the ground, which is kind of the fun part. That's where you really start to see progress being made once all the manual labor was out of the way. So the kids got to work hard. They taped it exactly right, spent a lot of time working on details, being detail oriented, and there was soon a group of us covering the paint, making sure every spot was covered while the Cubans worked on the backboard exactly where they wanted it before they put on the final touches. You could see it was a community event, that a lot of people had come out to make sure that this shared space was looking nice. After 2 days of work in 95-degree heat, we were putting the finishing touches on our project, which meant finishing up the backboard, making sure it looked great. The Cubans then put the net on the hoop and hoisted it up onto a ladder and a scaffolding, and then lifted it up onto the pole and made the place look a whole lot nicer. It's really pretty simple. A group of people who previously don't know one another get together to do some good for a community, and friendships are created.